Thanks for staying with us. Just 2 days ago, we found this report on the front pages of the dailies that says that we are definitely, up against serious food crisis, food insecurity, if you like. And that also, of course, came from the office of the vice president, among so many others. And there have been several initiatives, efforts by government over the years to diversify the Nigerian economy from just oil to agriculture, among many things. And the value chain is limitless and endless. And one wonders, how come we have all of this money and we are not spending? Coupled with that, just about Salah period, we heard from the office of the president that the president is aware now through the Economic Advisory Council that just 2.5% of Nigeria's arable land is being cultivated. That's down from about 41% in 2018, according to data also made available in public space. So I'm just wondering, how far so far and where do we go from here? There are several other initiatives in play, and hopefully we'll be able to come to some of them. But exactly what are the issues? We have some practitioners and academics who will be able to deal with these issues for us. Dr. Sam Oluogbon is an agronomist and a farmer. He is also secretary to the board of Center for Sustainable Agricultural Empowerment. He joins us from Ilorin, as well as Sheikh Usman, who is chairman, Mile 12 International Market. He's also a farmer. Both gentlemen join us virtually this morning, one from Ilorin, one from Lagos. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us today. Dr. Ologbo, let me begin with you. Exactly what do you think we are grappling with here? Because we keep hearing about food crisis. You saw that report just before we came on, what's happening in food insecurity in Yobe State. And there are several reports, like that. Exactly what do you think we are, grappling against? And are we really aware of the severity of the challenges on hand?
Thank you very much. And good morning to you.
Could you kindly take down the volume on that TV set so that we can enjoy what you're saying? Just mute the TV set.
Good morning once again.
We still have a lot of echo that is making it uncomfortable to hear you well. If you can mute your TV, it'll really help. But Mr. Usman, if you can also do us a favor, just mute the monitoring sets around you, the television set, mute the audio so that we can have a two-way communication indeed. So, Dr. Ologbon, if we can at least let's try again, see if we've gotten it right this time.
Good morning once again.
Is your TV set on?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll try to fix this. There is a need for us to make sure that we have good enough audio so that, there is no howling back on either side. And if Mr. Usman is also, if you have your TV set on also, please, take it down. A recent report says 13 million people face the consequence of food insecurity. And one of the challenges that I keep battling with in my head is, do we even understand what we are going through? For me, there are at least 4 major stages in the food production chain. And I'm not talking about the entire value chain now. First of all, we'll talk about the planting phase, which of course comes in seasons most of the time. And then you need to know what you want to do and where you want to do it, how you want to do it. And that's talking about the plant, the crop production. How about livestock and all of those ones? Those are all there. They also have the same stage. And then you come to the harvest stage. Remarkable information that I got along that line, indicates that sometimes we've been told this, that farmers are told that before you can harvest in the north, you have to pay a toll. You have to pay to go to your business? I don't get it. And then there is also the third stage of the logistics. And then, of course, the last leg, which is, really getting the facility to the people. Well, let's see if we have Alhaji Usman. We can hear him very well now. He's the chairman of Malto Market, as we said earlier. Thanks for joining us this morning, Alhaji. First of all, take us through exactly what do you think we are grappling with. You are a farmer and a trader in agricultural commodities.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So you are a trader and a farmer. Do you think we have an understanding of what we are going through, really?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, if you can hear me very well.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like the analysis made, Nigeria is well over 250 million, or about 300 million people. And then you have just 4 million people farming in the country. And if 4 million people are farming in where they are going to provide food for well over 350 million people, definitely you cannot get it right. That is number one. Number two is the attention for the farmers is not really much enough. We have paper farmers, we have typical farmers who will go to the farm and do their legitimate business. We also have farmers who are in Abuja, sitting somewhere in a very comfort area, claiming to be a farmer, collecting grants, collecting money from federal government in the name of farmers, and they are not assisting the farmers. That also is playing a vital role. Another thing we're also into is security. It's also playing a vital role in, chasing people out of farming. Let me give you an example of Damasak in Maiduguri, where we have a lot of them doing a farming of pepper. That pepper used to complement so many things that we used to have in Malta market, for instance. Like tomato now that is very expensive somehow. When you have that dry tomato from Maiduguri and dry pepper, it complements it and make it a bit cheaper. Now, almost half of Maiduguri are not farming. So you can see the problem is enormous. It's a problem that would only need Almighty God to help us and then make the country a better country again.
Well, there's the different stages in this, farming business that many people are not aware of. I mentioned 4 stages the other time: the stage of planting or investing in agriculture, the stage of harvesting or, packaging, the produce for agriculture, whichever, kind of agriculture one is doing. There's the logistics of moving it around, and then there's the logistic of getting it to the table of many Nigerians all over the place. What are the specific challenges? If you're a farmer, you're a trader, so what are the specific challenges that you think we need to be aware of in these various stages of agriculture in the country?
I think first is the concentration. There's need for federal government to concentrate hugely in farming. Of course, to also look deeply into what crisis farmers are going into. You've just mentioned one of it, which is infrastructure. Like now, for instance, you are bringing goods either taken from the north or taken from the south. When you come to Makwa, around Niger, you are going to spend about 2 days in that place. And take example of somebody who is bringing perishable items like tomato or any other perishable items, and you are spending 2 days. It's a huge loss for a farmer. That is number one. Not even that, even people who are bringing cow, if you imagine cow spending 2 days, without eating anything, and other things that you're bringing as well, is a serious matter. Now, let me come back to the issue of farming itself. The farmers are facing many challenges that they almost have nobody to explain to, except us that we are in the grassroots, whom they can easily see and explain things for on various occasions, that they are not getting help from federal government. The fertilizer is very expensive. There are a lot of issues that need a federal government to call stakeholders, people who are really, really into farming, not those one I call paper farmers, people who are stakeholders, to sit down and ask what is the situation on ground. And of course, people also need to go to farm. Just my analysis now that we have 4 million people farming to feed almost 350 million people, that cannot be possible. And we're not exporting food from abroad. It also escalates and adds so many things into this situation. I think the federal government needs to do something to solve the problem for us.
Just one moment. On that issue of federal government partnership, I'm wondering what you mean when you say that the federal government is not, giving enough support, because we always hear of the federal government, giving seedlings to some farmers, giving, support to poultry farmers, giving fertilizers and all to farmers. So if you say the federal government is not, helping out, and of course you're also aware of the CBN's Anchor Borrowers Program. So when you say federal government is not being helpful, is not assisting farmers, could you explain what you mean? Are you saying that those things are not getting to the farmers?
I can explain. Okay. That was what I mentioned. That's why I said papers farmers. There are a lot of people in Abuja who are there, getting all this stuff in the name of farmers, and they're not farmers. Now, let me give you an example of Mount Market. I have been the secretary of the market. I've been the field secretary of that market, and now I'm the chairman of the market. I'm talking about a ratio of almost 20 years in the regime, for instance. And Mount Market is the biggest perishable item today in Nigeria. Let me just say in Nigeria, it is the biggest, where you have a lot of produce coming from everywhere in this country. We have engagement with the farmers, we have engagement with the traders, and even the market itself. Now, the anchor borrower, tell me who collect anything in Mount Market. Government has not given anybody a dime from our market. And the biggest, if for instance, I can say I haven't got anything, I can say my members in the market have not get anything, because in the market, nobody can say he has gotten 1 naira from federal government in the anchor borrower. A Mount market of that magnitude that has well over 10,000 traders, and one of the biggest markets also, could not boast of having 10,000 from federal government, then who are they giving the money to? I'm not disputing they're giving money to people, but who did they give the money to? That is it. And many farmers too, who we engage in several locations, do tell us the problem they have. In fact, to even get their produce out of the farm to the city where they can, bring it down to Lagos, is also another problem for them. So, but it needs federal government to engage people who are really, really into the business, so that probably things can get better.
All right, let's see if we have Dr. Oluwalogbon, with us now. So let's see if we can hear you. Okay, I understand he's not there now. So, well, Ajusman, what are the options for us now? Because the figures are right there in our faces. If we are having these kinds of challenges, would you say then there has been any representation made by farmers, the ones that you are talking about, who you say you have data or information about, that have made any representation to government at any level, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture or the CBN Anchor Borrowers Program itself? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you. Can you come again?
Yeah, I said, has any representation been made to the federal government or the Federal Ministry of Agriculture or the CBN's Anchor Borrowers Program about the issues that you have raised so far?
No, absolutely no. It's a program that I've started, and I believe it has ended. And of course, there's no any communication as regard our own market to say we want to open up again, we want to start the anchor borrower again. So on that basis, we absolutely have nothing to ask from the federal government. We have not made any request from them.
Well, some people will say, the question is whether, as my colleague did ask there, whether you made any representation, but the Anchor Borrowers Program, from what we understand, was a program specifically meant for farmers to ensure that their inputs are cheaper, and it was supposed to be an incentive for farmers to be able to make at least a little more profit and also be able to expand their operations. I do not know if there's a specific one for traders, people in the middle, the middlemen who take from the farmers and take it to the cities, and those who organize in the marketplaces. But assuming the federal government were to intervene, to say that at the end of the day, where they want to intervene were the markets, first and foremost, why do you think the federal government should intervene at that end? And two, what sort of intervention would you be looking at?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Malpe. You've asked a very good question. Most of the people that bring goods to us in the market, we have about 3 categories of people. One, we have farmers that bring directly. We have people that buy from the farmers. We also have people who are normal traders who will go to the north and buy or anywhere and bring down to Lagos. In our engagement with them, none of them has ever gotten anything from the federal government. So how do we communicate to federal government? It's either, by writing to them or looking, like for instance, I have one example, for instance, I want to give you. We have a grant to collect from the federal government through Ministry of Commerce, for instance. Then we got the grant, for instance. A guy from Keystone asked us to open an account where the money is going to come from, for instance. We did that. We opened a Keystone account in K2 branch. Could you believe because of that, we couldn't get that? But that's not where I'm going. Most of the farmers we are engaging, like this year, we engage farmers in our 3 regions. We engage them in Sokoto and in Kano to ask them the problem they are facing. All they are saying is no assistance from the federal government. Whatever the government are saying, yes, the federal government used to give this thing, but it's not coming to them directly. It's not coming to those people mentioned. So we've been trying all our possible best to see that our farmer gets a better treatment, but all to no avail. I don't even know who I should meet because nobody has ever engaged me in anything like this.
Now, some will argue that there's a lot of focus on the federal government. What about the state governments? Because farming is supposed to be on the concurrent list. Agriculture is on the concurrent list. Many states have their ministries of agriculture. And if that's supposed to be a veritable source of revenue, shouldn't the state governments, where these farmers are domiciled, be interested in the plight of their farmers?
Thank you very much, Margaret. Yes, Lagos State are doing very well. Just lately, about a month ago, the ministry, the commissioner for agri called me per se, and also asked me to come with my ESCOs to see if they can provide a land and also other things that can assist Lagos State in getting more food. Not even that, Lagos is also assisted us in giving us a lot of crates, because we're trying to see how we can change from rubber basket to crate. Most of the things we sell in the market, we use basket. So Lagos is trying to change that through crate, and which they have already donated a lot of crate for us to assist and complement that effort. Another thing Lagos also do for us during the pandemic, during the corona pandemic, they assisted us in facilitating how to take food to people's house, because during that time, a lot of people are struggling to get food. But Lagos State give us the facilities and also assist us with some trucks to take food to the various communities within the Lagos axis. The Lagos State did not suffer during the pandemic because they have a lot of food and supported by the state government.
Well, we'll take a break at this point. And when we come back, we'll take a look at what support the farmers in the states where they're domiciled got from their own state governments. If you have any information on that, we'll be very happy to hear that. But let's take a break now. We'll come back and talk about some of the other challenges that the marketers, for want of a better phrase now, could be facing on a daily basis to also add to the price of food items. In a moment, please stay with us. We're still keeping our focus on rising prices of food items in Nigeria, that's across the country. And we have with us this morning Mr. Shehu Usman, who is the chairman of the Mile 12 Market Association. He's also a farmer. Sir, just before we went on break, we were talking about, some of the help you were looking to get from state government. You've enumerated some that you've received from the Lagos state government to keep you in business. But if you were to speak largely to the challenges that traders in the market face and things that could make their lives better in such a way that it will also positively affect the price of food items. In other words, bring down the price of food items. What are some of the things that you'll be asking for?
Logistics. Logistics matters a lot because most of these, both farmers and traders, doesn't have logistics. They have to depend on the commercial buses that convey their goods, and then of course it's difficult sometimes. Not everybody want to take perishable items, so it requires having a special lorries or trucks that will be conveying that. Also, to make sure that we have a good routes, because perishable items doesn't have a long lifespan. It's a matter of just hours it will start perishing. So we need logistics. It matters a lot.
By logistics, I mean, I'd like you to be a little more specific, because right now you heard the Minister of Agriculture there talking about transport and how that adversely affects the prices of food items. I'm wondering, and the federal government is talking a lot about investing in the rail system. I don't know if there has been any conversation to see if a coach or two could be available for people to start bringing their produce from the north to the south, or from the south to the north, as the case might be. Has there been any conversation along these lines, and even with the broad headline of logistics which you have used, has there been any conversation on the actualities, what logistics will involve if things are to get better for traders, and also to positively affect or bring down the prices of food items?
Yeah, there was a conversation between us and the federal government, and of course there's even a kind of test run to see how it works from the north to the south, bringing all these items. And I think that will help a lot. It will help a lot because train doesn't stop as much as lorries hooked in a hold up, like spending 4 days, 5 days in the road, which is not okay. But I think the government are doing so well in that aspect. If the railway is fixed, I think things will get better. And another thing that also play a role in this thing escalating, the price going up, is also the season. For instance, now we have tomatoes. We don't have much tomato from the north. Out of 100%, we just have maybe 2% from the north, which doesn't even come to the south at all. What we have is things are coming from the south. We have tomato from Udoba, we have from Ogumosho, we have from Abeokuta, we have from Ilara in Ogun State, we have from Benin Republic, we also have tomato from Cameroon.
Oh.